Peace and love. It's good to be back here again. My name is Jewel. I'll be doing a Lenormand reading for the air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. As we head into February, we're still in the beginning of the month. But whenever you come across these readings, they are timeless, and so there should be, or there can be some information in here for you. So I'll be using the Hoodoo Tarot today for the general energy, the underlining feeling that we're working through for the month. Then, of course, we'll use our Lenormand cards. These are the Grandma Babies, Black and Gold Lenormand. I have my guidebook out here for my Hoodoo Tarot because this is a book that a deck that you definitely want to keep that guidebook near because some of the names of the major arcana are extremely important. So I want to make sure that we get their stories. So let's go ahead and see. All right, Spirit, thank you. It's a lot going on in the world right now, so we want to just have a moment just to give thanks for life, give thanks for healing that needs to happen within us in the world, and just pray that hearts open and that eyes open, minds open, and that we're able to move forward. So let's see, Spirit, what messages do you have for us, the air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, as we're heading into January? But it's not even about January. It's just in general, just life. Where are we right now energetically? What movements do we have to make in order to open our lives up? Give thanks. Thank you, angels, for your protection. Thank you, ancestors, for your guidance, your wisdom, and your courage. Most High for the gift of life. All right, let's see underlying energy, or the main focus. Let's just say that. All right, so we have Gullah Jack. So this is the hangman energy. All right, so things aren't moving the way they want us to move. But also the hangman is a powerful card that talks about looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe we're not seeing things clearly. We'll see more. And then we have the Pa card, which is the moon card. So I'm getting that energy of making sure that we are viewing things not the way the world wants us to view them, but the way Spirit wants us to view them here with this moon card energy with Pa. In this deck, the masculine represents the moon, and the sun is represented by the female energy. All right, so let's see here. What else do you have for us, Spirit? And I'm going to read a little bit about Gullah Jack to honor this energy before we start. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have? I'm going to link both of these decks down below as well in case you are interested. All right. All right, so we have a snake. We have the ship. We have the heart. And we have the bear. On the bottom, we have the fox. So we have the fox and the snake. So we might be dealing with some tricky energy right now. Let's read a little bit about Gullah Jack. And then we'll go from there. All right. So the hangman. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. All right, so we want to honor the Most High as we move forward, knowing that things happen in their own time. So the plant is the hemp. All right, so Gullah Jack, 1822, we don't know the birth date, was a Bakongo prisoner of war who was sold into slavery in Zanzibar. He was eventually sent to Charleston, South Carolina, and purchased by a man named Paul Pritchard. Gullah Jack has a reputation as a powerful root worker with a particular talent for making protective amulets. This may have been one of the reasons Telemachus, aka Denmark Vesey, recruited him to plan a revolt consisting of only African-born men against the colonists. Gullah Jack instructed the rebels to eat a special diet of corn and peanuts the day of the attack and provided them with crab claws as a talisman to keep them safe. He also threatened to put the root on any other slaves who spoke of the plan. Unfortunately for the rebels, the plan was betrayed, and the revolt was suppressed. All of the plotters, including Gullah Jack, were sentenced to death. but not before Gullah Jack used his mysterious hand gestures, presumably to curse all of the oppressors or all of their oppressors. Gullah Jack was hanged on July 2nd, 1822. All right, so the idea is being stuck and being limited with this card is the Hangman energy. But I wanted to read that because I think this deck is important. It's important for us to honor these ancestral energies in here. And so they're not just figures that we see on the card, they're actually people who lived and they have a story to tell. And so their energy is here with this reading with us right now. All right, so Spirit is saying we're dealing with some trickster energy. We're definitely dealing with it in the world right now. We talked about that earlier, and I did a reading a few days ago about some of that energy. Please go back and look at that if you get a chance to. But we're dealing with some things right now that are not quite right. This is a side. This is not necessarily what's happening in our life right here and right now, the individual, but what's happening around us. So the energies in the United States of America are the fox and the snake, right? So those energies are powerful because they bring about spiritual enlightenment and change. All right. All those things happen with the snake energy. The fox has those powerful elements as well. The trickster can be powerful and negative. But when you're dealing with these trickster energies, you have to be careful and you have to utilize your mind, not the mind that deals with the everyday workings, but the spiritual mind in order to navigate out of certain things that keep us stuck, right? And so it's the idea of a revolution, wanting to have a revolution in your life, which means a revolution is just not out there, something that has to be big. A revolution just means a change that brings about something powerful in our own everyday lives, right? That we can see. So we want to bring about a revolution in how we live our lives, how we see ourselves, how we move in this world, right? And so that's what's happening in this reading because Gullah Jack was bringing about a revolution. The revolution was halted, right? Maybe the revolution, it wasn't planned out. They didn't go about it the right way. Spirit didn't want them to carry it out that way. Or maybe things happened the way they were supposed to happen, right? But the whole idea is that we want to transform. The snake is an energy of transformation. The ship says we have a desire to move forward, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Spirit is saying we have to access our intuition, our intuitive mind, all right, to move out of some of the trappings or some of the things that are keeping us stuck. What could these things be? A way of thinking about yourself, being surrounded by people who don't have your best interest at heart, being in environments that are detrimental to your health and your mental body, emotional body, being in relationships that are hurting the sacred spaces within, all these things. We also have the bear here, which talks about tending to the body, tending to the mind. The bear for me is lots of things, but the idea of nurturing the self and saving up for difficult times, going into a period of rest, right? Going into a period of, because we want to think about the hibernation with the bear. When the bear goes into hibernation, they make sure they have those nutrients and that food prepared in their bellies to carry them, to sustain them through that whole period where they are not moving, when they're asleep. And so Spirit is saying that even though we're not moving now, because that might be what's happening, there's still spiritual nourishment that can be had that requires absolutely nothing. This reading comes up a lot with this channel and with the other channels. The idea of being productive while being still, because you're engaging with spiritual energies, right? These don't require us to do a lot of hustle and bustle and movement. Some of us are dealing in situations, and this can also be the world that we're in right now, is something to think about, where there's a target on you. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're operating under the scenes, under the radar. Everybody doesn't have to know your movements. I'm also getting that here with this target here on Gullah Jack. So making sure that you don't have to proclaim or you don't have to announce all of your ideas, all of your desires, all of your movements to every single person. Because don't forget, we have the snake and the fox out here. Those who would try to stop your movements forward, we have the hangman, and those that trickster energy that maybe they will also want to stop you, but they might want to steal it. Who knows what they want to do with it? All right? You have to use the intuition to know where this stands, where this stands in your life. Spirit is saying that whatever you do, do it with heart. Do it with love for yourself, for your people, for your ancestors, for your spirit team, all right, for all of that. Whether you agree or disagree with Gullah Jack and his movements, and he believed in it. He believed in his freedom, the desire for freedom. He believed in his humanity. He believed in his power. He believed in his ancestors. He believed in all those things. He understood that he was beyond what others saw him as, right? And so he was able to utilize his heart, the heart space, the part that you use when others around you would tell you that you're something that you're not. You have to be strong with your heart. And so Gullah Jack was able to do that. So Spirit is saying that you're in a period where you want a revolution in your life. You want to move forward. You want something beautiful to happen. You want to break free of something from the past, right? It's going to take some time because we have those energies out here. It's going to take some time. But even though those things take time, there are powerful things that could be done within that moment. Let's get some more. There will be movement here with the ship. There will be movement here. Dr. Buzzard, the Justice card. So there will be justice in this situation. Things will balance out. There will be movement forward. Aunt Caroline, I'm not going to read about her, but she was a diviner, a cardmancer. She read cards. And this card to me is always the idea of whatever you do it to your fullness. You do it with love in your heart because we have the heart out here. But you might not be traditional or you might not be what is the norm, right? And that could be the hang up here as well. When you want to step outside the confines of society, you want to step outside the box, you know you're different, you know you're meant for more because Gullah Jack knew he was meant for more. Society told him that he wasn't. His situation didn't end up the way he wanted it to, but he still was able to create a revolution. And we're reading about him now because he created that revolution, right? So embracing who you are, despite of what others will tell you and society will tell you, because that's what I get with this card here. She's able to be herself against all odds. She's able to work within her realm and do her work productively, maybe as an outsider. And that's what it takes sometimes. Maybe to be an outsider. It takes courage to be an outsider. You're in the planning phase right now because we want to think about Gullah Jack. He planned it. He planned his revolution. So you're in a planning phase. The bear also deals with planning. The bear deals with entrepreneurial energy. It deals with things that happen over time, things that you want to dedicate those resources to. Not only resources when it comes to healing the body, all right, nurturing the body, but resources, financial resources that it will take in order to build your dream, whatever it might be. So Spirit is saying that this is a time where we have the ship here. There's going to be movement, but this is that planning phase where we're laying that foundation. We're laying that foundation. We're not telling everybody about the plan because don't forget Gullah Jack didn't tell everybody about the plan. There were certain field folks and certain people who would spoil the plan. And so he told them specifically from what we read that he was going to put a root on them if they told the plan. So it's not really about that, but for you, making sure you don't let everybody know every time Dick and Harry know what you need to do, what you want to do. You don't have to map out the blueprint for them. Let them be surprised in the end. All right? Let them be surprised by what you can do. Let's get one more. And then we'll pull a since we're dealing with some of the, let's see, let's get one more. So ancestors. So knowing that your ancestors have your best interest, your ancestors can see things differently than you can see them. And so we want to give thanks for that energy. All right, let's pull one of these. Since we're talking about the ancestors, the Secret of the Ancestors Oracle, Abiola Abrams. This is a beautiful deck if you do not have it. We're working with black energy on the table. Let's give thanks for that. All right, so Spirit, let's see. What message do you have for us? And I might pull one more. Let's see. This is going to bring some color on the table. All right, so Mother God, miracles in motion. What a powerful. Then shine and rise. So Mother of fire. So be prepared, right? So we're in that period where we're planning. We're planning around the snake energy. Don't forget we got the fox out there. But the fox is also the energy of ingenuity, craftsmanship, being crafty also. So when we're dealing with trickery, the fox can maneuver around all that. Not only can they maneuver all around that trickster energy, they can create within it because that's them too. I mean, you are the trickster, right? So why not be able to use that power for good or use that power for your movement forward? And I'm talking about trickster in a positive light. There's light and dark to anything, right? Trickster in a negative light will keep you stuck. So we want to make sure that we are using that energy to move us forward. But Spirit is saying be prepared to shine. All right? Maybe you're keeping things on lock right now. You're not telling everybody everything. But when it's time for you to rise and when it's time for people to see you, they're going to see you here. It's no way not to. Not with this energy. The Mother of Fire, that's the Queen of Wands in this deck. Mother God, look at this. Miracles in motion. Spirit is saying that even though we have this energy of the hangman out here, please believe that your ancestors know what's right for you. Your spirit team knows what's right for you. And that all-powerful energy is working with you to put you in the right place at the right time. At the right time. And so the miracles, while we can't see them, and while they're not moving towards us at the speed that we want them to, it doesn't mean that they're not in motion. We have to understand that. So while we're not seeing them run to us like a freight train, we still have work to do. We're planning. That's what we're doing right now. We're planning. Do I want to pull more? I can pull forever, guys. Explore. That also can be done in this hangman energy, in this bear energy. All right? Exploring different avenues, exploring who you are, exploring your desires, exploring things that can make you happy, exploring using your imagination, painting the picture of your reality, whether you're there yet. You're not there yet, but painting that picture using your imagination by exploring. Exploring the mind while staying still, right? Exploring you don't have to have money to explore. That's false. You can explore right here, right now. As soon as we get off this, as soon as you finish watching this reading, get a piece of paper and a pen and start exploring the type of life that you want to have for yourself. That's the planning that needs to go down right now. All right? And as this reading is meant for somebody who already has things in motion. But still we can start to envision how we want it to play out, how we want it to feel, how we want it to see, how we want to see it. Because all of a sudden when we get hit with that freight train, we're not going to be able to turn back. So we're going to make sure that we are presenting ourselves, presenting our vision in the right way that's meant for us. All right? All right. Peace. Until next time.